The Arizona Republican Party decided to formally censure John McCain. Now, you might be thinking, like I was, what does censure mean? I mean, I've heard it before, but I wasn't sure exactly what the definition was. It just means like strongly disapprove of, like officially disapprove of. And they did that for John McCain. Now, why did they do that? Because according to them, he's too liberal. Yes, John McCain is too liberal. Now, this isn't the first group to censure him for being a liberal. There were several Republican county committees also in Arizona that recently censured McCain, and they say their reasoning is that he, quote, associated with liberal Democrats. Now, I guess they're taking a very loose definition of the word associated, because what did he do? He had a conversation with them. He said hi to them. He certainly isn't voting with them. That's for damn sure. And the reasons they give, they say, well, immigration reform and funding for the federal health care law. He was with the liberal Democrats on immigration reform and funding for the federal health care law, so we are censuring him for being too liberal. So there's three important points to make about this. First of all, no, he didn't associate with Democrats for Obamacare. He voted against it. He voted against the bill. Now, what they're referring to is that he opposed Ted Cruz's lunatic government shutdown. But the reason why he did that is because he knew it wasn't going to work. He was 100% sure that it was going to fail. You want to know why? Because he's been in Congress since 1832. He's been around the block. He knows how these things work. And he knew, well, this guy's just shooting himself in the foot because there's no way they're going to say we're not going to fund a law that we already passed. That's what people don't get. The debating period was done with Obamacare. We already debated it, okay? The debating was in 2009, 2008, 2009, 2010. So we already debated it. They caved from single-payer healthcare to public option to finally individual mandate, which is what Obamacare is. And then now when it's time to fund the law you already passed, you want to debate it? But it's already a law. You can't debate a law. You could debate a bill, not a law. So he knew it was going to fail. That's why he opposed it. He did the math also. He realized, well, wait a second. Even if Ted Cruz gets his way, which he wouldn't, well, then we have Democratic majority in the Senate, so they wouldn't let it get through. And we have a Democratic president who would veto any legislation that would dismantle his signature law. So that's why he was against it, because he's not a blithering idiot. And the second thing is, look, supporting this immigration bill is the most Republican thing you can do. And the reason I say that is because it has over a 10-year waiting period, and then they have to pay fines and fees and back taxes, and then after all of that, they become citizens, but still not full citizens, because how dare we give you full citizenship after you wait over 10 years? The bill also increases border security, even though we're already at net zero. Immigration is net zero. Nobody's coming over the southern border anymore. Nobody's coming. But it increases border security nonetheless to appease the Republicans even more, and it's a bill that lowers the deficit. I mean, and every single conceivable Republican idea has been shoved into this bill. Indentured servitude was kinder than this, but still the Republicans say, well, we don't like it. Well, McCain was one of the few people who actually sat down and read the bill and said, oh my God, this is like a Republican's wet dream. Maybe we should be in favor of this. And then the last point is, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that pushes Republicans to the right. You know, this is why there was that great study that came out about a year ago now that said that politicians of both parties, Republican and Democrat, they both feel as if their constituents in their district are as conservative as a voting district in Alabama, when in reality the true opinions of the constituents in your average district are about in line with somebody in California, a district in California. So the American people are much more progressive, much more liberal than the average politician thinks. And it helps that perception, that misperception that, oh my God, you need to go further to the right because that's what the people want. No, John, don't buy into it. Don't buy into this garbage, because this is a small group of rabid idiots who are censuring you and saying, oh yeah, you're too liberal, when the average Arizona voter is probably like, I really don't understand what you're saying. We actually kind of like this guy. And in fact, they probably think he's too conservative. So don't buy into it. The loudest people in the political debate are always going to be the fringes, and the right-wing fringe is way louder than anybody else. So it drags the spectrum to the right. It drags the perception of the politicians to the right, where they pretend to be way more conservative than they have to be. No, the answer is you stand up to the bullies.